one between the New York Giants and the Denver Broncos. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, we find ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the New York Giants and the Denver Broncos. And hello again, everyone. Brandon Godden alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, we look at this Bronco team. They've got to be pleased with the start to this season. Obviously, a perfect 3-0.
3 good quality wins, too. It's got people in the locker room excited. They're thinking that this could be their year.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Giants, they come in 0-3 and in desperate need of a win.
And as a team, you start to feel a little bit snake bit. They need something good to happen right now so they know it's not just them. They think they have the makings of a good team.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. As we take a peek at their versatile quarterback, the Hawaii native and former Oregon Duck, Marcus Mariota.
And it's funny that we always talk about how analytics are starting to creep into the game. One analytic that's been there for a long time, teams that start 0-3 usually don't make the playoffs. So we know one quarterback today that's determined to end that slide right now. It's not possible, but this is a must-win for him and his team.
On 1st and 10, here's Mariota. That one brought in by his tight end, Adam Shaheen. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Mariota now to throw on first down.
Come on. Jump that.
Over the dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Here's Hunt. And that
nowhere.
Quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through,
come on.
And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down.
Oh shit, they're in play action on 3rd and long.
Brandon, lest my eyes deceive me, I think they found a matchup that they're trying to exploit here, don't you? I mean, that's the 2nd time they've gone to him here on this drive.
Yeah, opening drive. It's a tone setter, right? I think they're going to be looking his way a lot.
Yeah, and I think that the way things are going right now, they like him as a featured receiver. Let's see what kind of adjustments the defense is going to make to try and take that away.
And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Now a 2nd down throw for Mariota. To Shepard, complete over the middle. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, he's got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Shepard on the catch. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. That'll be enough to keep the drive moving forward. Another first down on the pickup of 5 yards.
That throw's not going to get them a whole lot, but that really didn't matter, did it? They got what they needed on that throw. Picked up the first down, and I'm going cliche here. Game of inches, partner.
Absolutely. And you talked to me a lot about opening drives, how key those are to set the tone. You kept the drive alive. Third down conversion here is big. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. A first down throw for Mariota. Completes it right side to Xx's. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger game. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. On the run, this is Hunt. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script, you go through your play calling, you go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
Running game working, they'll stick with it on first down. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Tackled by Bradley Chubb, the number 5 pick in the 2018 draft.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game.
Come on, need a turnover.
Linebackers set the edge.
They'll run it here with Hunt. And here's another tackle made at the line, so they're converging well on the football now. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just started in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
13th play now on the opening drive. Will this be the lucky one? It's 3rd and goal. From the shotgun, it's Mariota. Escaping the pressure right. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line.
Of course, didn't put a spy, and he runs.
As a rookie, this one a bit less, but it is a first down.
These type of plays are backbreakers for a defense. They thought they had him hemmed in, thought they were going to get him on the ground with the pass rush, but were unable to do so. He gets away, picks up a big first down, and sets up 1st and goal inside the 10.
They'll get it up the middle. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And he'll be stopped up at only a couple of yards as he gets it down to the 5. Driven it down the field nicely there on the opening drive, but now it's put under shutout.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Or might he go for it?
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? From the gun, Mariota. Forced out to his left, and he will score. Touchdown, Giants. Marcus Mariota with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Giants take it right down and score on the opening drive. You'd have to imagine for a team that's lost 3 straight games, scoring first in this first quarter has to feel pretty good.
That's feel great for them. And also, it's a nice signal to the rest of the team because we talk about complementary football all the time. So they've now signaled to the defense, now signaled to the kicking game, hey, we're here to play in this one. We're going to do our part. Let's see if you guys will do the exact same, and we can break this losing streak.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. That drive, a long one, spanning 15 plays. And it's finished off with a 5-yard touchdown run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And leading them, Charles, their quarterback, their field general.
And this could be a whole lot of fun because if his game plan goes into effect early, we're going to see some shots downfield, aren't we? What did he talk to us about? Stretching the field. Wants to open things up for not just his receivers, but for anything underneath.
Well, that was the theme, the front page of the sports section. What the columnist write? Possible air raid. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the coaches view that, right? Who gave away the game plan? I think it's pretty obvious, though. That'll help them win.
Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain. To throw on second down. Webster to the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost himself some yardage there.
And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
When you're dead last in the NFL with third down conversions, the odds are against you every time you face it. How about them picking up that one? That was big for them.
On first down, Webster over the middle, Dorsett. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. A good pickup there, 8 yards on a first down completion. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
Now, prior to the snap, we hit all zeros as time has run out on the first quarter of play. It's a close game here early on. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Bronco football to begin quarter number 2. They've got a third down and a yard to start things out.
All right, here we go. 3-19! 3-19!
Now a toss play. It's Breda. Give him 8 yards on the play, and they pick out the first.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big third down pickup to keep their drive alive.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this past the 50 and into Giant territory. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
And the flashy plays, splashy plays, as people like to call them, that attracts a lot of attention. let's face it, when you're efficient, that can control a ball game. And I love the game plan they've got going right now.
Back-to-back 5-yard gains. Didn't force the ball downfield. Picked it up on the ground.
The offensive line, they're getting it done.
They run with Breida. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Webster. And he slings one that's incomplete. Phillip Dorsett, the intended receiver. And that'll make it 3rd down.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. From the gun on 3rd down, Webster. And this is going to be incomplete.
I want to see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
And he's going to miss this one. That is no good. Well outside the left upright. And this score will stay right where it is. So an empty possession there. What do you think went wrong, Charles?
Well, it looked like maybe the plant leg might have given way just a little. And when that happens, guys have a tendency to pull through the ball to compensate. And in doing so, set this one off target.
And because they couldn't hit the long field goal, they are set up nicely offensively at the 41, 1st and 10. Throwing is Mariota. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary. Figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
Flushed out right. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Down left to Shaheen. And he's got the first, but we also have a flag on the field. And they're already walking backwards.
Holding offense.
So a decent game, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long? And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Encroachment, defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
And the penalty helps, but not a whole lot. It's still 3rd and long. Mariota. It's caught. Shepard. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Now a play fake here on first down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
We always talk about how you got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. On second down, Mariota again. And he comes back with one complete.
Why do you always call me?
Inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. Third catch
Hello.
for him, and this one is a first down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Mariota now hitting on 80% of his passes in the early going. 8 of 10. It's first down. From the red zone now, Mariota. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be third down.
Pass complete, but no gain.
No yards.
Yeah.
So you file that as unsuccessful.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Except on the stats, throwing the ball,
Get a completion.
you get a catch,
Yeah.
but still,
No
yardage. Okay.
And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's fourth down. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's a perfect word for it, precise. Because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
This will be taken in at the 1. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer
get
this
a little
time?
closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get across the 20, but only to about the 22-yard line. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen, because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
They go play action here on first down. And the giant rush gets home as down he goes. Kareem Martin in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Looking to throw. Webster. Ebron caught left side. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Set! Blue 90! Blue 90! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On third down, Webster eluding the pressure right. And able to find Dorsett. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Bronco first down.
When I played in the yard as a kid, I used to imitate the spectacular catches that I would see on TV. I don't think I ever imitated one quite that well.
Come on, give yourself some credit.
No, I know better. What we just saw there, that was pretty special.
Back to throw. Webster, incomplete.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them, they've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. So second down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40.
Set! Green 39! Green 39! Over, 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 over! Hut!
To throw again. Webster, he's going to loft one deep left side here. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10.
Detroit! Detroit!
Looking to throw. Webster. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
And to no one's surprise here in Denver, that'll carry through the back of the end zone for a touchback. Marcus Mariota and the offense heading back out for their next possession. He's got to be feeling pretty good, playing well. Team has the lead, so just looking to mount a drive here that ends in the end zone.
And all quarterbacks will tell you, hey, we love a running game, helps us out. But at the end of the day, they want to rely on their arm, throw the football, feel good about things, keep things moving in the right direction. Right now, that's exactly what we're seeing.
And we'll see if that continues. To begin the drive, here's a handoff to Hunt. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Now Hunt. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. The Pro Bowl corner, Jason Verrett, on the tackle. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the 2nd down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the 2nd quarter. The Giants on third down. They have been superb. 5 for 6 to this point. They're up against a 3rd-and-1 situation. Final play of the half here. Mariota. He's going to loft one deep into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 24. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. So we come upon halftime here with the visiting Giants out on top. Second half ready to get rolling. The Giants with a lead, and they are set to receive this kick. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this 3rd quarter. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Here's Breida, and he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They run again with Breida. Finding room inside the 40. And finally taken down at the 34. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Back to throw. Webster. And that's caught left side. Seals Jones with it. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. He got 29 yards that time.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route, it's extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
Looking to throw. Webster being chased out, fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out. And the offense is able to pounce on it inside the 5-yard line.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Green 39!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. No gain on the play that time, so a big stop, but it's going to leave him with a 4th and goal.
Another stop on 3rd down, and this defense still hasn't allowed a touchdown to this point.
And McManus able to put it through, and that'll bring him back within 4. A good drive gets him inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Marcus Mariota getting ready to go again here on offense. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. They'll run. This is Hunt. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Now, after the run by Hunt, here's 1st and 10.
Hey, you got 3,
Right back to him on 1st down. And some room to roam now. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Off the play fake, Mariota. On the move to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
Mariota from the gun on 3rd down. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Von Miller in there to drop him, and back-to-back sacks now bring up 4th and long. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
You got 3 down. Detroit! 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 Detroit!
Throwing on 1st down. Webster buying time to his left. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
They'll try again from the 20 on 2nd and 10.
3 down. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Watch him now, Barney. Hey, switch gears.
Back to the air on 2nd down. Webster, and this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. That one good for 13 and a Denver 1st down.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
This is Brito. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Brito. Powers ahead at the 45. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Give him 14 yards there and a Denver 1st down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running away.
Welcome back now to Denver. It's the Broncos trailing, but they do have possession of the football as we begin quarter number 4. A couple of first downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on first down.
4 down. Check. Mike 42, Mike 42. Watch the slap.
Off the play fake, Webster. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Back to throw. Webster, flush to his right. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete. Ricky Seals-Jones, the intended receiver, and it'll bring up 3rd down. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Kareem Martin in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
On is the punter, King, to send it away. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. So at the start of this game, it looked like the defense was wearing him down a little bit. Now you look at the numbers, that's kind of flipped.
Yeah, I agree with you totally, and his offensive line has really started to play well. And the best offensive line coaches I've ever talked to, when they have great runners, you know what they tell their guys? Relax, you don't have to be...
And look at this, they get the turnover they needed, it's intercepted. Picked off by Jason Verrett, and he'll get this back.
Let's go.
The 2-yard line. A critical error there in a tight game of the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
51 to Mike, boy, 51.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. It'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. And that is no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So the folks on hand here growing a little restless with their kicking game. That's now 2 misses so far.
And in a tight game, 4th quarter, the fans are the only ones getting restless, Brandon. There were a few looks of disbelief on that sideline as well.
They'll start with Hunt on the ground. And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Give him 30 yards there. Well, they had held him pretty well in check, but if you recall back in the 1st quarter, you said they needed to avoid the big play. He finally gets loose.
And the thing about it, It doesn't have to be a bunch of big plays. Sometimes one big play can be enough. That's why it's tough to deal with a guy like that.
Able to find Shaheen here. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. A good run of 6 yards there gets him closer to the goal line with second down coming up. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
They'll try to run with Hunt. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. As we get late in this one, is altitude a factor for a visiting team in Denver? Is that something that's overplayed?
No, it's real, and I know a lot of the visiting teams like to downplay it because they don't want to get into the heads of their players, but you can't avoid it. As soon as you get to the locker room, you get to the stadium, they always post it in there. Welcome to Denver. Altitude 5,280 feet. The air is rare.
Now Mariota, and he's got it. Touchdown, Giants. In for the score. And the Giants are able to grow their lead. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
Extra point splits the uprights. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. So the Broncos coming out now. And last time out, another missed field goal, so maybe their confidence wavering a little bit right now in the kicking game.
And I'm with you on that. I think at this stage, they'd love to not run him back out there in a tough situation. But let's face it, they may have to. So right now, the head coach is talking to the offense coordinator and saying,
"It got his man complete." An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play in football.
On 1st and 10, Webster, he's going to float this one deep right side. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
And this one is incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Watch him now, Barney!
To throw on third down, Webster. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Barry Church. And he will bring this all the way back out to midfield.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games. And now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain.
Offside. Defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
They'll get only a couple down to the 44. Got a figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Whistles now in a timeout defensively. So a wise move as they'll use the first of their timeouts to force one more play before the 2-minute warning. Now Mariota. Time for a break. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And Denver getting set to take the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He's got a man. Complete. Past the 20. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Philip Dorsett, 82 yards. And the Broncos draw a bit closer.
No, we're not cheering. No, we're not rooting. But I am excited about this, and I know you are too. We got a ball game again after that big-time strike.
Big-time strike, and you are right. Don't go anywhere yet. This thing's not done. Back to throw. And this is caught. They got it. And that could be an important 2 points. It gets them back within a field goal. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And the Giants ready to come out now. They've got the lead by 3, late stages of the game. What's the message here? Just hang on to the football? Is it that simple?
That's exactly right, because ball security is paramount. And you got a small cushion. A field goal can tie you, but you don't even think that way. Just take care of the ball, close out the game.
Will they close it out? We're about to find out. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And not much room to operate as he'll get this up only to about the 41. And now the Broncos will burn another timeout here, as they'll get it with just a shade under a minute to go in the game. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. Now it's Hunt. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. And the Giants will kneel it here out of the victory formation. And the Giants send out their punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. And Denver getting set to take the field. So you're right there, but obviously the clock is not your friend. How do you handle this situation?
You're thinking 2 plays. One, to get yourself in position for the second one, whether you're able to get into field goal range or you have to try another deep pass, another Hail Mary. But you're trying to get the first one to a receiver, get out of bounds, and give yourself a chance to set things up for an easier shot at it.
We'll see if they can do it. Might be easier said than done. He'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that's caught inside the 35. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21. A huge play there for Denver. 59 yards. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. You're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for the Giants, it took a few weeks, but they finally get their first one of the season here in Week 4. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Big D to take on the Cowboys. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, the defeat is their first of the year as they drop to 3-1. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to KC to take on the